We are about to begin the services for Mr. Marvin V. Harris. I would ask if you have a cellular device to please turn it to the off position. Officiating our service today will be Rabbi Philip Sherman. Mr. Harris was a Purple Heart winner. We will invite the military at this time for honors.
Shir lemalot, esahinai eleharim, me'ayin yavo Ezri, Ezri me'im Adonai, Ose shamayim v'haaretz, al yitain lamut raglecha, al yanun m'shomrecha, hine lo yanum v'lo yishan, shomer Yisrael, Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha, al yad yeminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka, v'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra, yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzetcha uvoecha, me'ata v'ad olam. I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard your soul, your going and coming now and forever. God of comfort, you who heal the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds, grant comfort to Marvin's extended family, his large and wonderful extended family, as they face their sadness. Fill their lives with acts of loving kindness and truth, which serve as a genuine memorial to Marvin, the deep bond of love that will remain unbroken. Marvin was adored by his family for 101 years. A patriarch whose life formed the woven tapestry of a loving and caring family. Beloved husband and partner to Sheila. The loving father of Daryl and Leslie and Robin, Jeffrey, Robert, Jonathan and Tracy, and Aaron and Dawn. He was the dear grandfather of Chelsea and Eric, Stacy, Richard and Renee, Brett and Samantha, Jenny and Jason, Liza and Richard, Weston, Lucas and Sean, Ethan, Liza, Noah, Zach, Sarit, Lily, Joey, and Ryan. And proud great-grandfather to David and Anna and Belle, Malka, Lila, Max, and Elle. His absence will be deeply felt by his family and his many friends. For those who have lived life fully, death is not to be feared but accepted with grace as a natural conclusion to a long and good life, just as the sunset marks the end of a day. When the sun sets, the sky is filled with spectacular brilliance of multicolored light. These indescribable, beautiful colors are the day's afterglow. In a profound way, those who leave this world also leave behind an afterglow that warms the hearts and brightens the lives of those who knew and loved them. The son of Marvin Harris, Shmuel Moshe ben David Meir Vehindefega, has set. But he has left behind an afterglow of memories that will continue to warm the hearts of his family and friends. His light and warmth have not vanished, for his spirit and influence live on in your lives. In our tradition, the rabbis say of a righteous person that even in their death they continue to live. And so the light is dim at this moment, but the light of Marvin's spirit will not burn out. The light will continue to burn strong in the memory of those people for whom he cared. The light will continue to burn strong when we live up to those values for which he stood. The light will continue to burn strong in the hearts of those he loved and those who loved him. May Marvin's memory continue to shed light and warmth on those who were blessed to know him. And those who were blessed to know him knew Marvin as someone who was bigger than life. He loved bringing joy to others, being deeply integrated into your lives. He loved giving gifts, the gifts of his soul and love, and often watches and earrings from the flea market that he loved so much. Marvin's life was about bringing light into this world, both in a professional sense, but most importantly to each of your lives. He often reflected about Shabbat and holidays in his home and thought fondly of those holiday lights and especially of his mother's cooking. He was marvelous Marv to so many of you, and may the light of goodness that is in your heart live on in this moment. In our tradition, we learn that Moses had a radiance about his face, that in his nearness to God, he was illuminated with a sense of goodness and light. Marvin's middle name in Hebrew is Moshe. Perhaps his parents knew that his light would be reflected for so many and for so long. What a gift and blessing to live 101 years. While death is painful at any point, I hope you find comfort in the many and varied years you shared together. And may you never stop sharing his light and blessing with the world. And so in this moment of sadness, we look to the words of our tradition, which for millennia have served as a source of comfort. And we find meaning this day to link these words and Marvin's life with the long history and traditions of the Jewish people. Words of Psalm 15. Adonai mi yagur ba'ohalecha mi yishkom bahar kodshecha, holech tamim ufo'el tzedek v'dover emet bil levavo. Adonai, who may abide in your house, who may dwell in your holy mountain? Those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth within their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who scorn the lawless but honor those who revere God, who give their word and come what may do not retract, who do not exploit others, who do not take bribes. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. As you entered this morning, you received a pamphlet, and inside in the second page you can find words of the 23rd Psalm, which help us understand and introduces us to a God who is with us in our loss and leads us through the valley of the shadow of death and back into light. Let us read these words together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He lead me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai roi lo echsar, Bihinot she'ar bitzeni, al me menuchot yinaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, Nafshi yeshovev, Yadcheni b'magle tzedek, Leman shemo. Gam ki helech begeit salmavet, Lo ira ki ata imadi, shivtecha ומשענתך, שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צוררי. דשנת ושמן ראשי, דשנת ושמן ראשי. דשנת ושמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה. אך טוב החסד, ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני, ושבתי בבית אדוני, לאורך yummy. At this time, there's a number of members of Marvin's family who want to share reflections, memories, blessings, and eulogies. I want to begin with Lily and Zach.
I heard a quote recently that says, "Grief is just love with nowhere to go." I think that's why this hurts so profoundly, because my Jaja was one of the most loved and adored men I know, and his passing leaves a gap in all of our hearts that no one can ever fill. While we will never be able to fill that gap, I feel so lucky because it means that we had someone so extraordinary and so special in our lives to begin with. Although Jaja is not our biological grandfather, he more than stepped into the role and is arguably our favorite grandparent. Sorry, Gigi. He loved my dad and Aaron and me, Zach, Joey, and Ryan like his own. He would crack us up at our cousins' dinners by shamelessly beating us at left, center, right, or surprising us with his knowledge of pop culture. Although this loss is excruciating, Jaja loved everyone in this room and would want us to smile and celebrate like he did for all 101 years of his incredible life. So to honor the force that was Marvin Harris, I encourage everyone here to be a little bit more like him. Be brave like Marvin, who fought in World War II. Be bold like Marvin, who wore a Speedo until his mid-80s, until Gigi had to have a conversation with him about it. Be charitable like Marvin, whose favorite charity was St. Jude's. Be confident like Marvin, who flirted with and Marvinized every waitress with earrings that he somehow always had in his pocket. Be clever like Marvin, who showed up to our house with his car's bumper in his hands, asking for duct tape and a promise not to tell Gigi. Sorry, Gigi. Enjoy life like Marvin, who would never say no to bread at restaurants and would in fact harass our waiters for 3 to 4 servings of bread even when we were finished with our meals. Most importantly, love like Marvin. I was lucky enough to see how deeply he loved everyone in this room, including my beautiful Gigi. Every morning, Jaja would ask my Gigi, "Do you know how much I love you?" She would always respond no, so that she could hear him say it. Tell the people you love how much you love them, and tell them often. Jaja, I love you. I hope you're having a vodka on the rocks in a Speedo with an endless supply of garlic bread from Barrio Latino. I promise we'll love and take great care of your Bessie. Thank you.
I'd like to call forward Aaron.
I'm Sheila's son, Aaron Auspitz. The morning of Jaja's passing, my wife, Dawn, was on the phone with my mother. As they were talking, Sheila said, "Oh, Dawn, a green parrot just flew onto the balcony. They never fly there." That's you, Mom. They kept talking, and a moment later, she looked outside again and said, "There's another green and red parrot," and it sat right next to the other. Eventually, the birds flew away together. They finished their conversation, and shortly thereafter, my mother called Dawn back to say that Jaja had passed. As skeptical as I am, I do give leeway to unexplained occurrences when searching for meaning. I Googled parrots and discovered that they have many forms of symbolism, including magic, playfulness, and truth. They're also dedicated partners and represent royalty. All those traits apply to Jaja, maybe besides royalty, but we can stretch it a bit and count the super understated royal blue velvet walls in the magic castle in the sky. Parrot was also the meal that Rookie Karoka served to Peter O'Toole in the movie My Favorite Year. Apropos of nothing, but Jaja did like that movie. Most people associate doves as a symbol of peace and tranquility when someone passes. My mom said, "Of course Marvin sent these crazy parrots. Even from beyond, he's still trying to flamboyantly make you laugh, Mom." Living life to its fullest, embracing his loved ones, and a long, long lifetime of laughter. That's how I'll remember most about Jaja.
Chelsea? Jenny?
Okay. I'm Jenny. I'm one of Jaja's 10 grandchildren. There are a few sayings our family always refers to. One of them is my grandfather's. You don't ask, you don't get. At first, it doesn't sound that deep, but when you think about it, it's really about advocating for yourself and knowing your worth. If you don't ask for something, no one is going to hand it to you. Sometimes you have to be your own champion, and what's the worst that can happen? Someone says no to you. But what if they say yes? So many times I've acted on something in life with this in mind, and I know my fellow cousins do as well. I say it to my own kids now. Jaja was a true patriarch and gave all of his children and grandchildren incredible opportunities because he cared so much about his family. I know he was a rock to my mother, and I loved witnessing their father-daughter relationship. He was a constant in her life. He was a protective father. They talked every day, and if he couldn't get a hold of her, he called my dad or I to say, "Where's your mother?" There was always concern for each other and tremendous care. When they would talk, he would always check in on the rest of our family with her. He just wanted to know that we were okay and did we need anything. It has been really beautiful for me to witness my mom being doted on and loved by her father. The way he showed his care did not change no matter what age she was. Jaja had a big presence. Each year, we celebrated his birthday July 8th. It was an event our family and extended family would look forward to, and a highlight of our summer. It was always a costume party with a different theme. Everyone was included at this grown-up party, even the youngest members of our family. It was truly all about being together. This is a reflection of another value he lived. If you are going to do something, do it to the fullest and share it with those you love. My friend asked me the other day what Jaja's secret to longevity was, and I always believed it was because of a few reasons. First, he never stopped learning. He tried new things and stayed current. Gigi and Jaja took tap lessons when he was in his 60s. In his 80s, he challenged himself to write his own memoirs. In his 90s, Jaj learned all the latest technology on his iPhone and FaceTimed with all of us. Another key was Sheila, Gigi. They had a shared love of trying new things. Whether it was frequenting new restaurants or traveling, they were social and celebrated the good times. and they were affectionate with each other. When we would be at dinner and someone would make a toast, I would always notice how they would lean over and give each other a kiss. Finally, he had a positive outlook on life. I never heard him feel sorry for himself about anything, even when he had serious health challenges towards the end. His personality was still vibrant and visible, making us laugh and cracking jokes. Up until a few weeks ago, I could still hear him perk up and hear the excitement in his voice when I called him and said it was Jenical, his nickname for me. Even at 101, he was still the same Zhazh.
When I was an insecure teenager and beginning to assert myself and go out in the world, I would be told, "Tell them who you are." "Who?" I would say. "You're Marvin Harris's granddaughter." Good morning, everyone. I'm Chelsea. I'm Marvin Harris's granddaughter. You know, he was 48 when I was born, and being the first grandchild, I named him. So I look at each and every grandchild from all the sides of our family and say thanks for going along for the ride. I couldn't say the Hebrew word for Zadie. It came out Zhazha. And it was the 1970s at that time, and we would go out to family dinners, and we would yell, "Zhazha, Zhazha," across the room. At that time, Zsa Gabor was a pretty well-known actress, and people would turn their heads thinking the legendary Zsa Gabor was in the restaurant. I think it's pretty safe to say that at that moment, we didn't really realize that we had a true legend sitting at our table. His big birthday celebrations began when he was 60, a Greek party with a belly dancer, a mafia party, and the infamous Oscar party for his 80th, complete with the red carpet. Bringing our family together year after year from all across the country reminded us to be playful, to dress up, and remember that life is about showing up and having a great time and celebrating with your family. Zsa always made his health a priority. I literally still can't believe that he played racquetball 3 times a week until he was 85. More? We were going back and forth about it, but I remember saying to him that I just could not believe he did that. And he said, "You know, in the end, I kind of just stayed in the middle of the court and they made sure the ball came to me." But he still went. He still showed up. I just love how Sheila and Zsa would buy each other multiple Valentine's Day cards, and they'd write loving notes on each and every one of them, different notes, and then they would hide them all around the apartment for each other to find. This tradition continued until very recently. Over 4 decades of love and care and partnership and showing up each and every day for each other. 3 weeks ago, my mom, Leslie, my sister Stacy, and I all visited Zsa, Gigi, and Toots. He hadn't been doing well prior to our visit, but he had a burst of energy while we were there and announced, "We are going to a restaurant for dinner." His beloved Sheila made sure the whole meal that the air conditioning was not blowing on him, and Toots coming to stand by him and rub his neck without even being asked, both doting on him, showing me what it means to love someone and give them dignity and care for them. When we were getting ready to pay the bill, Gigi asked the waiter. The waiter asked her, "How old is he?" And she said, 101. "Have you ever met someone who's 101? And without missing a beat, he lifted up his head. The waiter said no, and he lifted up his head and said, "Well, you have now." Recently, Gigi called me. I didn't answer, and she got scared. She called 3 times in a row. And I told her, "I'm so sorry, my voicemail box is full," which is really not a rare occurrence. Because you see, every birthday and every anniversary, Sheila and Zsa would call, and they would sing loudly, enthusiastically, harmonizing terribly. I saved those messages. And then there were the just because messages that Jaja would leave me just checking in. On Tuesday morning, when I got the call that he had passed away from my mother, I played the message from June 1st, 2023. It was really a just because call that started with, "This is your Jaj." And at the end, he said, "And remember, I love you dearly," reminding me that I am Marvin Harris's granddaughter.
I understand the great-grandchildren would like to come forward and share some words as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Karp. I'm one of Marvin's 7 great-grandchildren. Many of the speakers today have mentioned my great-grandfather's tenacity and zest for life. My favorite thing about my great-grandfather was the way he brought our family together. As a young child, I was very jealous of my friends from school who had what seemed like dozens of first cousins, all who lived within 10 miles of them. I don't have any first cousins, so my second cousins and fellow great-grandchildren who stand behind me have taken that place for me. When I close my eyes, I can so vividly imagine the family get-togethers in Jaja's Chicago apartment. He would greet us all by saying, "Baby, give me a kiss." Then we would run free like wild animals into his castle in the sky. It had blue velvet walls, clown paintings, marble floors, plush white furniture and carpet, pornographic geisha wallpaper, and delicate objects everywhere. And Jaja didn't bat an eye as we ran around screaming as if we were on a playground. All he wanted was for his family to be together. Those will always be some of the most treasured and magical moments of my childhood. When I was around 9, I made a diorama for Hebrew school. As I sculpted the project, I told my mom I was sculpting God to look like Jaja. For a long time, I wondered why I said that. After some reflection, I think I solved the mystery. Having a great-grandparent who lives to 101 is magical, and it will always be something I am extremely proud of, especially given our heritage. Being around him, even as an adult, felt biblical. L'adore vador, from generation to generation. May we not only possess Jaja's tenacity, strength, and larger-than-life persona, but take these qualities and create our own magic as we strive to spend more time together as a family. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Malka Harris, and I'm one of Jaja's 7 great-grandchildren. Whether it's cracking jokes to anyone around or giving earrings and compliments to waitresses at restaurants, Jaja always knew how to put a smile on anyone's face. Every single year, I would look forward to Jaja's birthday parties and spending time with the family. If you know Jaja, you know he loves to give gifts. So of course, the first time we came to the apartment, he offered my sisters and I some of his tchotchkes. We each went home with an ornate clay bird that weekend. Unfortunately, around a month later, my bird fell and broke. When we went back to Josh's apartment, he insisted on giving me a new item. So I got the silver banana with the word written on it, Top Banana. Every month after we got home from Chicago, me and my sisters would fight over who got the silver banana, even though it was mine. Every single thing that Jaja says or gives means so much to us. Still, to this day, I have that silver banana sitting on display on the front of my dresser. And if I ever bring it up, I get screamed at by my sisters that I've had it for too long and they need to get a turn with it. He always had a way of bringing people together. Some people dread spending holidays or weekends with their family. But thanks to Jaja and this amazing family he gave all of us, it's all I look forward to. From the time I could remember, I would always look forward to hanging out with all my cousins, going out to dinner with Jaja, yearly birthday parties, and running around the castle in the sky, overviewing the city of Chicago. Those moments, the moments I spent with him, the moments I spent with the people he gave me, are truly the highlights of my year. Jaja will forever bring us together. He will forever be the light of the room, and he will forever be a part of me and everyone in this room. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Max, and I'm one of Jaja's. Hi, I'm Max, and I'm one of Jaja's great-grandchildren. I wanted to say a few words about why Jaja was special to me. Since I can remember, Jaja has always given me and my sister Elle $2 bills as well as fake $3 bills, which he would call $twee bills. Every time I saw him, he always lit up a smile on my face. I will always remember Jaja as a person who impacted me. I learned about how he was a hero in the war and the Purple Heart he was given. He was always asking me, "Hey Max, you got a girlfriend yet?" He came to all my birthday parties when I was little. We would spend lots of time together at his apartment and at dinners and breakfasts in Florida every winter. We would talk about basketball, school, and how each of us were doing. And he was always interested in my business ideas. I learned from him that even though he was getting older, it didn't stop him from being a happy person. He didn't let his age make him depressed. He stayed enthusiastic about himself and wanted to live a long life. He always made me feel happy, and his happiness spread throughout others around him. I feel lucky that I had a great-grandfather like him and that I had a relationship with. I love you, Jaja, and I'll miss you, but I will still have the memories we've made together, and those will never go away.
Sheila, I invite you to come forward at this time to share some words.
There's not much more I can say about Jaja. He was a big personality. He loved life, and life loved him. I just want to read to you what I read to him at his 100th birthday party, because it's as true today as it was 2 years ago, 1 year and a half ago. Marvin, as you look at the people in this room, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your extended family, and your friends, please know that you have touched all their lives with love and laughter. Your joy for life is still unwavering. Your sense of humor can still put a smile on even a toddler's face when you ask them, "Are you married?" Your infectious personality and laughter is what first attracted me, and it still does. You've had an incredible century of memories and experiences, and you've done more than most people could ever dream. If we lit every candle making up your 100 years. It would represent the light you bring to all of us. You are an inspiration to your family and your friends. How many times have I heard people say, "You are my hero"? And I just have to interject that all the texts, unbelievable amount of texts, where people have said that he was such an inspiration and an idol, and he is my hero. Those are all the things they said about Marvin. I am so grateful to have had you in my life, and I cherish our years together. I just wish we had a couple more. You know, there's, as much as you love somebody, and as long as you've had them with you, it's never enough time. It's just never enough time. You always want to wish for more. Another week, another month, another year. Love you. Thank you.
It's so abundantly clear the love that you all share for each other and for Marvin, who clearly had a loving heart, a caring heart, always welcoming to others and making sure no one was left out. His kindness was evident in the way that he treated people, always inclusive, thoughtful, and full of grace. Marvin taught this world a Torah of light and love and connection. So just as Marvin showed up for all of you as a blessing in your lives, you now carry that blessing forward. And each of you is a bearer of that legacy through the stories that you share, the lessons that you teach, and the ways that you lift up his memory. May the love and blessings he brought into this world and into your lives endure forever. Chaim Stern once wrote, "It's a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be. To be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing. A holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may Marvin's righteous memory forever be a blessing, to which we can say, Amen." This time, I'd ask you to rise as we join together in a memorial prayer. For Marvin's life was a blessing in so many ways, and we give thanks to God for having been on this journey in life together with him. And in the sadness of his death, we find comfort in knowing that his soul is bound up in a bond of life eternal with God. May his memory endure forever as a blessing. And so we offer these words of El Malei Rachamim as we pray that God protects and keeps Marvin's soul for eternity. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamse Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, Im Kedoshim Utorim, Kezohar Aki Hamazhirim, Et Nishmat Shmuel Moshe ben David Meir Vehinda Fega Shahalach Lolamo Bahal Rachamim Yasdirehu Beseter Knafav Leolamim Bitzur Chayim Et Nishmato Adonai Hu Nachlato V'yanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkavo V'nomar Amen. God of abundant mercy, God most high, may the soul of our loved one who has gone into eternity find the gift of your perfect peace in your embrace, together with the holy and pure whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold him close to you forever so that his soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May he find a home with you, and may he rest in peace. And together we say, Amen.
Our service here has concluded. The interment will take place immediately at the family plots, Waldheim Jewish Cemetery, 1400 Des Plaines Avenue. Following the interment, the family will be sitting Shiva this afternoon, Max and Benny's, 461 Waukegan Road in Northbrook, today from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. At the Uten residence on Saturday and Sunday, 1662 Pear Tree Road in Deerfield. That's 6:30 on Saturday until 9 p.m. and Sunday from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. That address is on your folder, and for those of you who are online, that information is available on our website. Memorial contributions can be made to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or the Macular Degeneration Research Bright Focus Foundation. Also, that information is available on your folder, and for those of you that are on the website, that information is available. For those of you who are going to be going in procession with the family to the cemetery, please make sure you obtain an orange funeral safety sticker. The sticker should be placed in the front passenger side of your windshield. We would also ask that you have your bright headlights and hazard lights on at all times. For an additional measure of safety, our staff will be placing magnetic flags on the tops of the vehicles throughout the procession. As we drive in procession today, please drive as closely as safety permits to the vehicle in front of you. This is especially important as we move through intersections. We want to avoid any large gaps or spaces. In just a moment, I'm going to invite the pallbearers up. At that time, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise if you're able as we escort Mr. Harris from the chapel. The pallbearers will be Chelsea, Stacy, Rick, Brett, John, Aaron, Weston, Ethan, Noah, Jenny, Liza, the honorary pallbearers, Eric, Renee, Samantha, Jason, Rick, and Mark Feiner. This time I'd ask everyone to please rise.